Our first case this evening occurred on April 26, 2007, when 29-year-old Jermayne Mitchell was shot and killed near his apartment in Euclid.
Jermayne was my third child, and he was a very quiet, always had a quiet demeanor, caring, soft-spoken.
Loving person, and just real fun to be around, a genuine person. We were always together, we were real close. I love him very much.
When you saw one, you saw two. Even as they grew up and became older, they pretty much had the same friends and traveled in the same circles.
I had the pleasure of meeting Jermayne for the first time, I would say, in 1995. We were all teenagers. We just hung out every day, did normal stuff. We loved to watch the basketball games together.
He was a sportsman, loved sports of all types, and he loved cooking. He was a very good cook. He learned from his mom in the kitchen.
The only time I had the pleasure of tasting his food was on like holidays when he was at the barbecue. His wings were good, I had to admit.
He loved his family. He loved the Lord.
When Jermayne was murdered, he was 27 years old. His son was 6 months. And Jermayne was trying to emulate his dad. He was in the delivery room. He cut the cord. He wanted to do the same thing that his dad did. And that was one of the highlights of his life, except seeing that baby come out, and they had a son, Kyle Mitchell.
This is Kyle Jermayne Mitchell. This is his son. And at 6 months, he lost his dad. He was murdered.
And he didn't want to name his son a junior. But after he was born and he saw how much he looked so much like him, he said, oh, I should have named him a junior. But at least he has his name, only reversed. His name is Kyle Jermayne Mitchell. So he still carries his dad's name.
And we just doing our best to keep Jermayne alive, just for the simple fact from telling all the positive stories and who he was and all the things he accomplished and would have accomplished if he was still here.
911, what is your emergency?
I just heard gunshots.
On Knuth, yeah, we're already on our way. Do you know anything more?
Yeah, the boy's on the ground.
Where is the boy on the ground at?
1553 Knuth Ave.
Okay, in front or back?
In the front.
Okay, we're going to get an ambulance and the police over there right now.
Okay.
It was a Thursday night, April 26th, 2007. Jermayne Mitchell was watching TV inside his apartment with his longtime childhood friend. They were watching the basketball game and decided to go out and get something to eat. They exited Jermayne's apartment and they walked up Knuth Avenue with the intention of going to KFC, located at the intersection of East 260th and Euclid Avenue and Knuth. When they walked up to the restaurant, they realized it was closed, decided to go across the street, get to another restaurant, decided against it, walked into a Shell station. We also have surveillance video from the Shell gas station that shows Jermayne walking from KFC across the street, Euclid Avenue, and then coming back into the gas station where Jermayne buys a Black and Mild. Both Jermayne and his friend then exit the gas station and leave the view of the camera. At that point, they're walking down Knuth back towards the apartment where the shooting occurred. At this point, Jermayne's friend saw a female walking on the other side of the street, decided to cross the street and start a conversation with her. At that very moment, they heard gunshots, turned around and saw Jermayne fall to the ground. The friend and the female took off running from the area at this point. When he came back, police were arriving already. Jermayne was on the ground. He was later pronounced dead at Huron Road Hospital, where he was transported to.
That evening, I call it the night from hell, one of the worst nights. And I was walking around in a trance because it's like, okay, I was in a bad dream and I'm gonna wake up and everything is gonna be the way it was. But unfortunately, that's not the way it was. It was the truth.
I've lived in Euclid almost my whole life, since 1985. That type of thing don't happen out there.
And it took a long time to really understand and accept what happened. If you still want to say I accepted it, in a sense I did, in a sense I still don't, because I don't understand it.
It appears that the first shot that was fired is more than likely the shot that killed Jermayne. He was shot from about 4 feet away in the back, and the bullet severed his spine, immediately dropping him to the ground. The second shot that was fired actually missed his back and went through his clothing. That bullet was not recovered. The third shot, evidence suggests, was meant for the victim's head. The shooter actually missed, and bullet fragments were recovered in the ground. So 1 out of 3 shots fired, but that was the fatal shot. Witnesses involved report seeing the shooter as being a black male in his late 20s, approximately 6 feet tall, medium build, wearing all black clothing. Jermayne was all around a good citizen, no criminal record, not even a traffic ticket. That's where the mystery lies. Why? Why would somebody do this to him?
My world has never been the same since that, and I'll never be the person I was, prior to his death. And I believe it's the worst thing could ever happen to any parent.
Not the same, don't know if I'll ever be the same. Nothing you want to deal with.
I have no worries. I know that he's fine. I know that he's with the Lord. I know that I will see my brother again.
Sometimes I want to pick up the phone and call him, and I forget he ain't there.